Well, we want to continue our talk about species and how evolutionists have a real problem with the biblical definition and Carolus Linnaeus' definition. Here's another article in that same issue I just was doing last time with you, the fuzzy art of defining species. Oh boy, they're really trying to make sure that we don't think of this all as something that's absolute, just like in morality. There we go. What is a species? Why, it's almost impossible to tell that. Scientists don't agree. Well, it doesn't mean that the truth changes. Here we go. This is called the traditional way, like Linnaeus and the Bible says, kinds reproducing after their kind, is called the biological species concept. And according to that, they admit that species interbreeding by definition, they really can't do that. They can do no such thing. How often they're surprised at how often the word fuzzy comes up. Speaking of fuzzy, sorry about our focus there. Okay, fuzzy, the fuzzy definition. You know, in evolutionary science, you have to keep everything fuzzy, or else you can't get anything done. I like what Dr. Gary Parker said to me one time when we were ministering together in Florida. Evolution thrives in the gray areas, thrives only in the areas where there is uncertainty. So they're generating uncertainty every place they can. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think the devil is, though, clouding men's and women's minds. Okay, I'm having a little troubles with it. Let me see if I can turn this. Well, that actually helps. All right. And what actually determines a species in their minds? Well, evolutionary history, of course, designates what a species is. So now they're saying, well, evolution can come and be the hero and solve all of this problem. Oh my goodness, it just gets more and more propaganda-y, and they don't even know they're doing this. Let's not mistake that they're not doing this on purpose, but the devil is, and it's the spirit of the things. Okay, this one female scientist, probably a good scientist, but she says it's the fuzzy species concept. She sides with preponderance of data to decide, observations, anatomy, and stuff like that about characters of a species to decide whether it's really a species or not. The messiness in picking out the limits. And this one guy admits here from University of Utah, he says, just because the boundaries are fuzzy doesn't mean there aren't actually boundaries. Well, he might be hitting up on something here. Of course, he is, like the other lady there, is going on a bunch of evolutionary presuppositions. And that's the problem. They're going with evolutionary presuppositions. Okay, let's see now. The last one here, last page of it, says, for vertebrates, though, the interbreeding thing is useful if they can reproduce after their kind with each other. But then they also say, well, a species is just whatever the taxonomist says it is. Not what nature says or science or unambiguous logic and data. No, whatever the expert says. So it's like that little joke that I made in the Genesis Paradise Lost movie. They're all going to the airport thinking somebody else brought the tickets. So they're saying, well, whatever the taxonomist says, that's what it is, and so we should go with the expert. And the taxonomists are probably saying, well, it's the geneticist, it's the evolutionist, and they're saying, well, it's the geologist, they really know the lineages and that biogeostratigraphy thing. That's where everybody thinks somebody else has got the answer to this problem logically and scientifically, and they don't realize that they're playing Simon Says, and Simon says, raise your left leg. Simon says, raise your right leg. You just really can't do that. Okay, let's see. And the concepts share the basic idea that a species is separately evolving. Okay, so now they have to resort again to evolution to save the day and make your definition. Evolution's going to define what a species is. Look at this lesson. No matter how badly we want the process of applying a species definition to be clear-cut, it just isn't. Well, that's because of all of those isolated populations and the different mutations and the different coping strategies and compensating genes that have been incorporated in the secondary backup systems of living organisms. And then when they try to interbreed with another population, I hear evolutionists all the time saying, inability to breed is proof of evolution. No, it's not. That's leading to extinction. But I've heard evolutionists say that extinction is proof of evolution. No, the origin of species somehow would be proof of evolution. That's why they keep trying to say new species are always creating themselves, and we just don't see that really in nature. Some creationists would disagree with me, but that's because we would disagree on the definition of what a species is. Okay, and that's exactly what evolutionary biology predicts. And they just throw that out and say nothing else, of course, but evolution could predict the genetic situation we've got now. Oh yes, the curse of the fall would exactly predict all of these mutations and populations not being able to breed and fertility going down within a kind because of the genetic meltdown described by John Sanford, the great pioneer and creationist. He was a pioneer in the genetics, the science of genetics. And exploring, okay, yes, evolution is an ongoing process with lineages splitting and rejoining at their own pace. Exploring a living, ever-evolving world of life means finding and accepting fuzziness. And of course, you would be charged with scientific hate speech if you didn't accept this fuzziness based on their evolutionary theory presuppositions. And of course, that doesn't make any sense in science. Emotions are real, but that's not what drives our theories, or should anyway. It should be data, logic, and science. For you, keep thinking. God bless, Dr. J.